One of the key members of Doomsday Mom Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell's religious cult was Lori's niece Melani Boudreaux, now Melani Pawlowski. Melanie is the daughter of Lori's deceased older sister Stacy, and when Lori first met Chad, Melanie was married to her husband of 11 years, Brandon Boudreaux. Hi, I'm T of Bed Crime Stories. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support the work I do, please consider a membership. On October 2nd of 2019, Lori's brother and Melanie's uncle, Alex Cox, drove to Brandon Boudreaux's home in Gilbert, Arizona, in a bid to take Brandon's life. Thankfully, the projectile that Alex fired lodged a few inches above Brandon's head in the frame of his Prius. Alex Cox drove off like the wuss he is. He'd missed his mark, but he couldn't wait to get out of Dodge. And the person who knew his address and schedule that day was his ex-wife, Melanie. It's believed that Melanie likely provided Alex with Brandon's information, his address, his schedule. Thus, it's not a leap to assume that Melanie may have been a co-conspirator in the crime against Brandon Boudreaux, allegedly. Melanie is currently under investigation for her possible role as a co-conspirator in that crime. Not only did Melanie enmesh herself in Chad and Lori's cuckoo train cult, where they would decree anyone they didn't like or didn't want around dark spirits, after Brandon nearly was unalived by Melanie's uncle, Alex, Melanie decided to further harass and terrorize Brandon by showing up at his parents' house in Salt Lake City, where he was pretty much in hiding with their 4 young children. Melanie showed up on November 12th of 2019, roughly a month after the attempt on Brandon's life. And Melanie didn't turn up there alone. She had the audacity to come with the family hitman, Alex Cox. Yeah, the same guy who fired on Brandon on October 2nd. He's also the same guy who unalived Lori's 4th husband, Charles Vallow, on July 11th. Alex had also already done away with Lori's 2 youngest children by this point, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, although the police did not yet know it, and the kids were secretly buried on Chad Daybell's property in Rexburg, Idaho, although nobody yet knew it. How much Melanie knew about all of these crimes, we don't know, but it's hard to imagine that she was completely in the dark. This makes her trespassing on Brandon's parents' property in November of 2019 all the more egregious. In my opinion, twice showing up to try and see her kids after they were forced to flee with their father after he almost lost his life speaks volumes about Melanie's character or lack of character. And keep in mind that she'd already texted Brandon on October 14th of 2019 that she was moving to Idaho with or without their 4 children. Melanie's text to Brandon read, "The kids could remain with you in Arizona. You would have to arrange for daycare, and I could have the kids for school holidays and summers. Or I could take the kids to Idaho and could get them in school there, and you could have the kids for school holidays and summer. Please let me know what you'd like to do." So with that text, you really have to wonder, was Melanie really a caring mom wanting to do a welfare check on her kids? Or was she trying to nab the children and hand them over to the family annihilator, Alex Cox, for, let's say, processing as he processed Tylee and JJ? This is pure speculation. I don't know if this is even possible, but Melanie was acting erratically, and she seemed to be full bore into Chad and Lori's ideas. She was fully committed to moving to Rexburg, Idaho, and Chad and Lori seemingly made it clear that little kids would be a burden when it was time to work for the 144,000 chosen people. All of their minions had missions to do, and little kids would have gotten in the way. Knowing what happened to Tylee and JJ makes Melanie's visits to Brandon's parents' house all the more alarming and sinister, especially with Alex Cox in his truck there. Now I'm going to play you 2 police officers' body cam videos from American Fork, one from November 12th, when Melanie first turned up at Brandon's parents' house, and another from the next day in the evening, when Melanie trespassed on the Boudreaux's property and ended up getting arrested. She'd been warned the day before not to trespass on that property, and she chose to ignore that. I think it shows how entitled she seems to think she is. She had no qualms about breaking the law. She had no empathy for Brandon after being nearly unalived by her uncle Alex. She shows an utter disrespect for the law. And she doesn't seem to really mind getting arrested and charged. Like for me, if I got arrested, I'd be devastated and probably crying my eyes out and begging to be let off the hook. I've never been arrested and I kind of like it that way. So in November of 2019, Melanie gets arrested and charged with criminal trespass with a DV enhancement that happens in Utah after showing up at Brandon Boudreaux's parents' home in American Fork. She refuses to leave while seeking her children. The DV enhancement was included because the authorities said she was attempting to gain access to her 4 children who were living there temporarily with their father Brandon, basically in hiding. And Brandon, as you will see later in the police body cam footage, was clearly terrified and emotionally distraught over seeing Melani Pawlowski outside his parents' home. And let's face it, with Alex Cox there with her, there's no way Melanie had 100% good intentions. That's just my opinion. Now, she was arrested and she was put in jail. She spent 5 days there before she was bailed out by Uncle Alex. Bietch had to spend 5 days in jail. Alex sprung her. Don't know why it took him 5 days to get the money. Maybe he was debating whether he should get her or not. I'm surprised he didn't ask Brandon Boudreaux for a loan to get her out. Melanie pleaded no contest in December of 2020, and she received a 100-day jail sentence, which was suspended. Instead, she got probation. Thus, Melanie has a criminal history in Utah. What I find equally egregious in this situation is Melanie telling the police that Brandon was telling lies and doing drugs. And then she insinuated like the attempt on his life really didn't happen. And everybody knows that it did because there's a big old hole in Brandon's Prius where the projectile aimed for his head ultimately lodged. But that wasn't the end of Melanie's criminal charges. Fast forward to March of 2020 in Mesa, Arizona, and that's when Melanie was accused of accessing her ex-husband, Brandon Boudreaux's business bank account after their divorce decree required her to remove herself from that account. Bank records proved that Melanie accessed Brandon's Chase bank account sometime after March 2nd of 2020. The story goes that Melanie accessed the account and copied a $12,000 check that had been deposited. She said she did it to present it as an exhibit during a family custody hearing. Melanie's attorney, Garrett Smith, no relation to Charles Vallows Garrett, admitted that his client, Melani Pawlowski, logged into that account and was able to because Brandon Boudreaux didn't change the login information. The detective investigating this possible crime wrote in his report, quote, "Garrett told me it is not Melanie's fault that Brandon was dumb and did not change the login info until 3 days after Melanie accessed the online account." Garrett Smith told the police that Pawlowski believed Boudreaux owed her money from that check, and that's why she logged into the account to get a copy to her attorney. The investigation concluded with the detective finding probable cause to charge Melani Pawlowski with 1 count of computer tampering, which is a Class 3 felony. Felony rhymes with Melanie. For some reason, the initial charge was dismissed in 2022. Later, the charge was amended and refiled, and on the afternoon of October 19th, 2023, Melanie appeared in a Mesa, Arizona court for the same charge of alleged computer tampering, but once again, the charge was dismissed. You have to wonder if Brandon Boudreaux asked for the charges to be dismissed, because maybe he didn't want the mother of his children to go to jail or prison. And now to the current chapter in Melani Pawlowski's interactions with law enforcement. This year, in 2025, a prosecutor in Arizona announced that there is still an open investigation on Melani Pawlowski and her possible role in the conspiracy to unalive her ex-husband, Brandon Boudreaux. Investigators are looking into whether or not Melanie provided Brandon's then new address in Gilbert, Arizona, to her uncle, Alex Cox, who allegedly carried out the drive-by on Brandon in October of 2019. So far, Melani Pawlowski has not been charged. And you have to wonder if Ian Pawlowski ever regrets meeting and marrying Melanie. Talk about coming with baggage and trouble. Melanie came with a whole lot of baggage and a lot of legal trouble. It had to have been hard for Ian to justify this new wife to his family, especially after everything came to light about Lori Vallow Daybell, Chad Daybell, Alex Cox, and the others and their evil crimes. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I do wonder if Melanie is an apple off the tree of her Aunt Lori Daybell and her uncle Alex Cox. I mean, based on evidence we've heard in Lori and Chad's multiple trials, it appears Melanie was buying into all of their BS. So far, Ian seems to be sticking with Melanie. He and Melanie went on to have 2 biological children, and, strange as it sounds, Melanie appears to currently share custody of her 4 kids with Brandon. To me, this hints at Brandon not wanting his kids to suffer any losses because of their mother's poor past choices. Of course, that could all change if Melanie were to be charged as a co-conspirator in the attempt on Brandon's life. But no matter what, at some point Melanie is gonna have some splaining to do with her kids. There's no way Brandon can keep this whole nightmarish saga on the down low from his and Melanie's kids. At some point, the children are gonna find out. No matter what though, at some point Melanie is going to have some splaining to do with her kids. Will she fess up to anything? Maybe she will cop to believing the crazy ideas of her Aunt Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell. Maybe she'll blame her interactions with the Doomsday Daybells on her own childhood trauma from losing her mother Stacy at age 9 and on her deep desire to find a mother figure in Lori. Maybe Melanie will continue to deny any and all involvement in the dark deeds committed by Lori, Chad, and Alex. They say karma is a biatch, and I like to believe that if Melanie had anything to do with any of these crimes, that she will one day have to pay a price for that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please smash that like button. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time on Bed Crime Stories. Love you guys.
Did my son call you?
Somebody called. It seemed like it was him.
About custody?
It was regarding female trespassing. Supposed to be here.
She's left.
Okay.
Where she went.
Okay.
Shh. Stop.
So what happened?
So it is my son and daughter-in-law. Well, they're trying to get divorced. Somebody tried to kill him on October 2nd. We called the police a couple of weeks ago and reported it. I think we have his name. She hasn't known where they were. Hello. Hi. They are. Bye. What? They're all panicking. I didn't know who it was when I answered the door or when I answered it. She didn't know the kids were here. She was just trying to find my son and the kids. So.
What was her name?
Can I go pick up my grandkids?
Come outside and shut the door.
Hey, I'm going to go out in just a second, okay? Oh, Jessica. Okay. Her name's Melani Boudreaux. My son got the doorbell so I could see who was at the door. And
She knocked instead of ringing the
she
doorbell.
rang the doorbell.
Oh, okay.
But
Can you spell that last name for me?
It's Boudreaux.
So she came over here looking for the kids.
So she came over here to ask me if I would tell her where the kids are. She had no idea they were here. I don't think she thought he would come here.
Okay.
Is this your house?
This is my house.
Oh, okay. She came over here to ask for him and the kids.
Saying nobody's seen or heard from them in a month. He's taken them out of school, which is true. That's what he's done. On advice of the police detective in Arizona and his lawyer. She has moved to Idaho without telling him.
How did she know you guys lived here? She's been.
We've been here. We've lived here 17 years.
Okay.
They've been married for 11.
Did she get upset? Did she try to force
She
her
was
way
crying.
inside?
No.
She was crying. That was it.
I
She
told
didn't
her
do anything threatening towards you or
Well,
anything like that?
well, I told her I'd talk to her through the door, but I didn't want her to know the kids were here. So when one of the grandkids came down, I closed the door, and then I could hear her just yelling, and I think my son was talking to her through the ring doorbell. And she was just yelling, and kept ringing the doorbell, trying to get me to come answer the door, and I'm going to come back.
She didn't try to open up the door?
I don't know if she did or not.
Like that. Do you know what she was yelling at? Was it like an angry yelling or just, yeah? But you can...
I went upstairs with the kids. I took them back up to the bedroom they were playing in and ignored. They kept ringing the doorbell again. They're like, someone's at the door. And I just said no, because I don't want them to see their mom.
Okay. You guys don't have like a protective order in place or anything, or she's not allowed to come over here? Has she been officially trespassed from this place by a police officer, or?
You know what? My son and husband talked to the police the last, it was a week ago Friday, when we were afraid they were going to come through here and try to get the kids.
Okay.
So he did call on the advice of his police detective in Arizona to talk to.
Okay.
So I don't, he's on his way here.
Yeah.
A minute to talk to him.
Okay. You don't have a phone number for her by chance, do you?
You know what? I don't know if she has the same phone number that I have a phone number. I just don't know if it's the same one.
That's all right.
Does he have one? A better one than he does? Okay, we'll talk to him and grab it from him.
He's been texting. He was just going to the DMV.
Okay, no problem. Did you get her information?
I haven't yet.
It's Teresa.
TH?
No, Teresa. Same last name.
So she doesn't live here. She lives in Idaho, supposedly.
She was in. They both live in Arizona, and so after he got shot at, and she said she was moving to Idaho, then he took the kids, and the advice was to go hide because if she takes them,
So
she can't get them back. Because they had mediated. They thought their divorce was final, and the mediator didn't submit the papers. And so then when she said she was moving, he could have full custody. He went to his attorney. He found out they were not divorced, and there was no custody agreement in place.
Okay.
So she's still trying to use the old custody agreement that never went. It was never filed.
Okay.
And at the time, they did have joint custody and had worked all that out. But they both would have lived within 15 minutes of the school the kids were going to.
Yeah. Okay. So you're just looking, you don't want her back on the property, I assume, so we can officially trespass her, so that way if she does come back, we can remove her from the property or arrest her or do whatever, so.
And I don't know where her car was because I didn't see a car when she came to the door.
Yeah, we came through the area, I guess it was like a white
Kia Telluride? Does that sound familiar?
Like that, so.
That's what he said is the newest car she
Oh,
bought.
okay.
Okay.
So
Well, yeah, we were looking
this
through
is him.
Oh, that's him. Awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah, we can put some extra patrols up here. We can have some of our other officers just keep extra patrol in here. If she does come back, give us a call as soon as possible so we can come up here and talk to her. But
Okay.
yeah, so everybody's okay.
All I said was, you need to go through courts. Just go through courts.
Okay. Awesome.
How's it going?
It's okay. I just didn't want her to know the kids were here, and now she does. So.
My detective said he wants to talk to you guys, or somebody from your department, because we can't talk about a lot of the stuff that's going on in our case right now.
Okay.
So I'm supposed to be at my parents' house.
A detective. Who's the detective?
Yeah, Gilbert Police Department.
In Gilbert?
Yeah, it's an attempted homicide there. Apparently, he's meeting with the FBI this week because there's 2 murders that they're also investigating that all tie together.
Okay.
So,
And he wants to talk to us?
he says, please give the police department my contact number. I don't want them to share too much, but I need them to understand this isn't a standard case, so I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk to him here after we're done here. We'll just...
Okay.
Can I get your first and last name, date of birth?
Brandon Boudreaux. B-O-U.
He's got it twice already.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm from Mesa, so
Are you?
I know Gilbert and Mesa and everything like that, so.
Perfect. Want to go in over? Okay, so, gotta go around.
So what happened from your side of the story? What's going on?
I need to get my mom tried to register my car, but she didn't drive it down there, so I had to go, because it was an out-of-state VIN. I can't register my car in my name right now because I don't have anything that tied me to here, which didn't do any good. But so I was down there trying to get my car registered. I saw on my doorbell camera that it was her. And my mom's not tied into my doorbell camera, so she didn't know, so she answered the door. And I don't know, I watched that part of the conversation, but as soon as I realized it was her, I got on the camera and I told her she needed to leave. It's private property, she's not allowed here. And I have it recorded, but it's about a 6-minute conversation. I just kept asking her to leave, telling her she's not allowed here, telling her she needs to leave, we're going to call the police. And finally she left. So that's the abbreviated version.
Were you able to see what vehicle she was in, or?
I think the camera probably got it because she had to, unless she parked this way and never drove past at all.
Okay.
Because my camera records, I pay for the fee to have it record after the shooting.
Okay.
I could definitely turn that in, but she drives a Kia Telluride. So
Kia Telluride.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what year?
I can pull it up really quick.
So she's supposed to be living up in Idaho right now?
Yeah, she's up in Rexburg right now.
She knew you were living here then for some reason, or she just came by just to...
I don't know if she already knew, if someone told her. There's only a few people who know, but one of them might have felt bad because she's been on Facebook offering a $10,000 reward and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
somebody might have said something. Here's the... So her car is a 2020 Kia Telluride. If she still has it on there, it's an AZ plate CRT 5817.
Do you have a license plate or a VIN for that?
Yeah, he just gave it to me.
I've got a license plate and the VINs here too.
Awesome. Yeah,
5817.
But last time, when she was leaving Arizona, her and her uncle, he's the one that I believe shot at me, which we're not supposed to talk about, but they went and took the license plate off of her car and started driving to my friend's houses, and they forced their way into one of the houses.
Okay.
So I just didn't feel comfortable coming back home, knowing she was here, thinking he was here. That's why I called you guys.
Okay.
I was like, I don't feel like I can even drive up without. I don't have my gun on me. I left it inside.
Okay.
I thought I was okay. Stupid.
All right. All right. So
I don't know that she was driving that, but
on the Ring doorbell, did she threaten you in any way? Did she threaten to do anything? Did she? Or...
No, there's nothing you guys are gonna be able to do because she's very careful. She did say that she thinks I shot it myself, which I told my detective she's been spreading over and over, which obviously they have a lot of evidence that that's not true, but
yeah.
Anyways,
I'm just talking, just about this situation. If she said anything on the Ring, like, "Hey,
we could listen to it." I was really heightened, so I wasn't.
No, that's okay. Yeah, we can search the area. We can throw some extra patrols up here, make sure that she's not hanging around or, coming back here. If you guys do see anything, you can call us right away, and we can be up here in a few minutes and talk to her. Also, we need do you have like a good contact number for her?
Yeah, I'll give you her number. Will you call the detective before you talk to her? So this is what she's wearing. She's got a black hat, a real purple hoodie, and gray pants. Assuming she didn't already leave. You can hear me talk to her. That's probably on Bluetooth right now.
That's okay. It's not a problem.
It just sucks because he's gonna want that. Let's see.
Yeah, she's in it. Yeah. All right. You have a good contact number. Like I said, we'll extra patrol this a little more. If you see anything suspicious or anything like that, don't hesitate to give us a call so we can come up here and see what's going on. If she does come here, call us. If you know where she's at, call us. We'll talk to your detective, see what's going on, but then we need to contact her and say, hey, you're officially trespassed from this residence, so if you do come back here, you'll get arrested or removed or whatever, and then we can go from there, okay?
Okay, I appreciate it.
Let me Give me just 1 second. I'm going to grab you a case number. That way you have something to reference for any future follow-ups should they come up. But we'll get that. I'll leave you with this. It's got contact phone number. It's got my name. And then I can come up here for follow-up.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, do you have any, you can just get it over the radio, just ask for a case number real quick.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions or concerns for us at this time? No? Okay. So,
5J44.
no, it's not wasting our time with what's going on, you know, so.
Can I get a case number for this call?
Find someone in the statement. It wasn't the best place, but we're just trying to make it easier for my kids. Doesn't know anything's going on.
Code 4. So there's that.
So yeah, like there's going to be a report written on this and everything that you said. We'll contact her, we'll contact your detective, see what's going on there, and then we'll just have to go from there. If we can't get in contact with her, then, you know, that's just how it's going to be. But if she's here, if she comes back or anything, we can talk to her in person, then we can do something about it. So, all right, any other questions, concerns for us now? Okay. All right, well, sorry about that, and give us a call if you need us, okay?
Thanks.
All right, have a better night.
Officers, I have a legal mediation agreement. My kids have been held out of state.
You were also criminally trespassed over the phone.
I asked an officer to come here last night to do a check-in because I'm worried they're in danger.
But you came over here after being told that you were criminally trespassed.
But I have an agreement saying that...
From this residence, correct?
But my order says that it's my time with my kids. They're supposed to be in Arizona. My husband's kept them out of school for
from this
over a month.
location.
I just need my kids, and
No.
you're welcome to look at this order. They've been out of state, out of school, and my husband's lied to everybody. I'm sure he lied to the cop last night. This is my
We've
order.
been in contact with...
Do you have a victim's advocate I can speak to in the police department, please?
Okay.
Melanie, so where'd you get this order from?
So this is our mediation order.
Okay.
I also have another copy of the original copy of the court. This is my time with the kids. My husband's been hiding with them over a month out of state.
Yeah, we talked to you the other day, right?
Yes. So
And
I
he
asked
told
for
you-
somebody to come in and check in on them to just make sure they're safe because my husband will, or my ex-husband will not talk to me.
So we told you they were safe yesterday, right, on the phone?
You said that
we saw
on the phone, but
kids.
they are supposed to be in my custody right now. Yeah, they are. There's no.
Okay, hey, right now, we're working through something else, okay?
Yeah,
So
if you just want to step
he's
inside,
lied to
we'll come
everyone
talk to
saying
you in
he
a
has.
moment, okay?
He said he's had a protection order against them, and there was nothing. I've never been served with anything.
So-
He's lied to everybody, and he kind
So
of does
what
this. So
what were you wanting to happen tonight? Coming over here, were you going to try to take the kids away from them, or what's going on?
No, I'm not taking. I'm just trying to show that I was going to bring this copy to them and say this is my time with the kids.
Okay.
He's had them out of state, and he's been lying to everyone's protecting them. Like, I know they're nice. My in-laws are nice people, but they've been lied to, saying that there's a protection order in place, and there isn't. My kids are. I'm worried they're in danger because my husband's been doing a lot of things that cause me to worry. He says he was shot at a month ago, and then he went into hiding, and no one in Arizona has seen him for weeks or my children, and he kept them out for over a month with truant absences. I asked an officer to just come over here last night to just make sure they're safe, and he said I can't do a welfare check or a wellness check.
So did
for
you
some
not hear
reason.
me when I was talking? We were talking to you on the phone the other day, and said we came here because you were here. We came here. We checked on the kids. They were
Are you talking
okay.
about yesterday or
Yeah.
the day before?
The day before.
The day before.
I heard and I had to call in because I didn't know if that was. I just heard something on speaker. I didn't hear everything. I heard that it wasn't super clear, and so I called in the next day and I said, "Can you?" Because I don't want to have to go over there again. Can you send an officer to come check in?
Came over here anyways when we told you that you
Well,
were
I have
trespassing. It
I
doesn't
have
matter,
illegal.
right?
Well, my children are inside, and they're
understand that,
probably in
right?
danger.
They're probably in danger. You know that for sure. Like.
Well, I know what my ex is capable of, and he has a lot of evil people working with him. So I just wanted to make sure my kids were safe last night, and the officer.
So do you think
So
this
I need to
was
speak
the
to a
right?
victim's advocate.
Okay,
If you can.
But you were trespassed, correct? You remember that on the phone?
I asked you if you understood. You stated you did. So.
Okay.
So you understand you're trespassed, right?
Yes, but I believe with my order, I can come and just get my. I'm
Nope.
not going in.
Nope.
I'm not going into the house.
Nope.
I'm just.
You're trespassed from the property. You being on the lawn right now is a violation of that trespass.
Well, I can get off.
Well, it doesn't
Just-
really matter
No.
now.
I'm not trying to barge into their house or try and take my. I'm just trying to be peacefully, trying to do what's right and what's in my order.
Is this an order from Arizona?
Yes,
when
it
you were
is.
in there?
They're illegally out of state right now. Like he's keeping them out of school for over a month. I've been searching for them. I don't know what else to do. I asked someone to just come over and see if they're safe last night, and Carlson probably scared them off, saying there's a protection order, and there's no protection order. We can go and look everything up right now.
Okay.
I haven't seen or talked to my kids. I have a 2-year-old, 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 9-year-old, and they haven't seen their mom for over. And my husband's been doing drugs, and
Well, this is probably not the best way to go about it, right? To come here and try to.
I tried asking if an officer could just make sure they're safe.
And we told you
But
they
I was
safe,
told
right?
I have a mediation. I have this court order saying it's my time with the kids. If I know where they're at, I can go and get them.
No, so you can't come over here and forcefully take them.
Not forcefully.
and
I'm just
we
knocking,
can't come
saying
over here
I'm
and
just
forcefully
going to give them an
take
order
them
because
out,
I know
right?
they've been lied to, saying there's
Okay,
a
well,
protection order.
that's something that you're going to have to take up with the courts, right? Like we told you the other day. You're going to have to go to
I
the
don't know if
courts.
they're safe, and I feel like they're in danger.
We
and
can go in there and check and see if they're safe.
If you
And then we
can,
can come
sir.
back here and we can tell you
Sir,
they're
if you
safe.
can.
Stop talking, okay? We can go in there, check if they're safe, but we already trespassed you from this property saying you can't come back here. And what you do, you came back here. And it doesn't matter if you got this piece of paper. We told you not to come back here, and you come back here and you're upsetting everybody, and now it's just a whole freaking problem. So your whole thing is here is you want to come here and check if they're safe? You want a welfare check on them?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Well, and it's my time with
Yeah,
them.
so that's another problem, right? So this is a whole civil problem. This is a whole court thing, okay?
who do we
Because
need to
even if you
call?
do come here with these papers and say, yep, it's my time, they're not giving them back to me, then the only thing you got to do is go to the courts and you got to say, hey, listen, if these are signed by a judge down there in the court or whatever, he can say, you know what, this is your time, let's get this back in court, let's have him come back to court, let's do this, then we can give you a report number, and
Sir,
we
is
can
he
stop
able to
talking,
take-
okay, I'm explaining some
Yes,
things,
sir.
okay? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
I am, sir.
So this isn't the best way to go about things.
Yes, sir.
You can bring up everything to the judge. You think he's doing drugs and that he's been getting shot at and that it's not a safe environment for your kids. But what you can't do is come to a place where you've been trespassed.
Yes, sir. I just thought with my order, then I can just. It's okay. Thank you.
So now there's a bigger problem here because we trespassed you and you weren't supposed to be on here and you're causing alarm to them and everything like that. Who's your judge down there? You don't know your judge? Who signed your papers? Where'd you even get these papers from?
They were mailed to me.
You live in Arizona?
Yes, sir.
Was this done in mediation or in court? Because I don't see anything.
It's a court-ordered. So
I don't see anything signed by a
That's
judge.
what I was looking
I
at.
have the copy with more signatures if you need to see that. This was just for them. I was just bringing them to them because I know they've been lied
This
to.
is a mediated settlement agreement, not a court order.
Yes, the court mediation was.
Well, if it was done
legally-
through mediation, it's not through the court. That just means that you guys sat down with the mediator, you agreed on something. This is not something that's been enforced by a judge.
It has, sir. I have the paperwork in the car.
So you guys went to court, you
Yes,
sat
sir.
there with a judge,
Yes,
made
sir.
a determination.
I
Let's
believe-
grab that real quick so I can
Yes,
see what
absolutely,
kind
sir.
of judge that
And
is.
I have yeah. Is there a way, sir, for him to check, like with a picture or something, just to make sure it is that?
What, you don't believe us that we can go in there
No,
and
sir,
check
I-
their well-being, or
No,
what?
no, sir. They have tons of cousins over probably, and I just want to make sure that it's my kid.
We'll make sure. We're not here to lie to you or just make sure that your kids are not being
No,
taken
sir, I
care of.
know.
That's a huge
No,
deal
sir,
to
I
us,
don't
right?
think you would like me. I just want to make sure,
Kids
like, you don't know what they
yeah,
look
in the
like.
state of Utah, kids are a big deal, so like we take that thing seriously. So if we're to check out the kids' well-being, we're going to do that. We're not just going to tell you something that's not true. Where's your car? Behind the truck?
Yes, sir.
Is there anybody with you?
Yes, sir.
What's his name?
Alex Cox.
Well, someone's got to be.
Are you guys still married? Your divorce is final? When was it finalized?
October Sunday. October.
Wow. Here?
Yes. So beginning of October 15th, we didn't have any mediations orders mailed out
Yeah.
yet. I didn't have any copies, so he began hiding with the kids. And they haven't seen them since.
Okay. Have you been back to the court since he's left the state of
I've
Arizona?
actually-
Have you
I would love
talked
to
the
speak to a
judge?
victim's advocate
Okay.
because I'm not safe.
36, code 4.
Home in Arizona?
I'm not, and so I had to. I've just been looking for them. I don't know how to do. I felt like it says in here to not go straight to filing court. Says there's a process that we both agreed to go by. So we're supposed to contact each other first, and he hasn't been
So if
contacted.
you guys haven't been doing that, then you
So there's a whole order. It's just, so I was just trying to do things the right way. I don't want all this drama and just. He's trying to file something. What I heard, I don't know, because I couldn't be at my house. I didn't feel safe. I was having followed, and I tried to just do the best I can with going about this. I don't know. I've never done this before. Like I don't.
Okay, so the proper thing to go about this is, when all things else are failing, what you got to do is go to the court and you got to see a judge and you got to do the whole court stuff.
Yeah,
Does
but
that not make sense, or what do you want?
no, it's a long process. Like he's been
It is a
hiding
long
with them for
process,
a month.
That's right, but
Like
if
how do I?
they're hiding and you can't get in contact with them and you're doing all this stuff, then the next step is to go to court and do all that stuff, right?
I couldn't safely do that, and so I just.
You can't safely go to court.
No, I couldn't safely go to.
Oh, man, you're good.
Yeah, that's possible, but
I mean, you guys can go and make sure they're safe tonight, and I don't
Yeah,
know what he's
yeah,
going to
we
do
have
tomorrow.
another-
I
we
don't know
have
if he's
another
going to go
officer.
run away with the kids somewhere, and if they're in danger. So I don't know if I have this and it says it's my time of the gift. Like, how do
Actually,
I?
it doesn't
force
say
that?
in the court order that you guys have a set schedule. It says that you guys are going through mediation.
We do. It's in here. It's just plain.
says
There's a time.
flexible parenting time.
No, we have.
It can be changed at any time. That's what it says. in the court
We have set days, set weekends, and so we did set all of that.
Well,
And it's
maybe
a lot
in
in here
mediation
for-
you did, but in the court order it doesn't specify a specific time frame or a set schedule. It says that you've agreed in mediation to a flexible parenting plan, which can change at any time. There's no set time for parents.
Okay, what do you recommend for, like, he's been hiding with them for over a month? Like, that's not allowed. He's out of state with them. He's kept them out of school. They just got unenrolled from their school in Arizona.
so like I'm saying, we're not going to force the kids to come with you. We're not going to drag them out or take them or whatever like that. So what I'm telling you is that you need to go to the courts as soon as possible. And I know it might take a little bit of
Drive all the
time.
way.
It might take a little bit of time and stuff like that, but that's
So,
the best
can
way.
I ask you something? If they go in there and they're not all in there, then what happens next?
We'll have to find out where they are. We'll have to
last
check on
night,
them.
right?
Yeah, that's why I said. That's why I said we checked on them and they were all good. But the problem is that you're coming here and you're causing alarm.
I'm not sure.
And when we told you,
This is
and when we told you you weren't allowed onto that property.
Right, but if I have this and they have
It
my
doesn't
children,
matter. We trespass
they have
in.
no right to my kids. That's the in-laws. That's not even. They're not even with the husband. So is that an issue?
The husband's there. I talked to him.
He's there right now.
Yeah, I talked to him. Like
Brandon Boudreaux is there.
I don't know if he's there right now.
So
but he's living there.
they're not. They're in there. The in-laws have no rights
Okay,
to
I'm
the
not
kids,
here to
right?
argue with you.
I don't want to. I'm just trying to.
So what you asked me is what you need to do, and if everything's what you're saying is
So
true,
file kidnapping that they're out of state
If
with
what
in-laws who
you're
have no
saying-
rights to the kids.
I'm getting really pissed off right now that you're not listening to what I'm talking about. It's just really pissing me off. Do you want to listen to what I have to say, or do you want to just go your step away and then you can just hear what at the end of the day I
No,
have?
sir. Sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to understand.
Same one, right?
I understand
Yeah.
that, and I
I'm
know
not-
we deal with a lot of these things.
I'm about to mess around with that.
And the problem
I've done
is
everything
that
right so far.
the
Like,
problem is that our hands are kind of tied when it comes to like civil papers like this and civil matters, right?
how do we protect the kids?
So we can go in there and we can check their well-being and make sure they're okay and everything. If we don't see anything that's like wrong with them, or if they're, we can ask them and check on them. Are you guys okay? Whatever, and they're like, yeah, we're fine. We're totally fine. Then that just that's our kind of thing is kind of just
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
they're okay. The thing that
Yep.
you need to do right now.
Did you check on the kids?
You need to request, like you need to have the court request in, or come to the court. You need to figure out.
Okay, cool.
What's going on?
Yes,
You're saying
what I'm hearing,
what's
this is
happening. That it is your time.
So get that shit out of here.
Yeah. It's time. It's time to cite and move on.
And move on.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
We're not taking them away from him. We're not going to forcefully give them to you. We're not going to do all that stuff. Did you talk to him?
Everybody's safe. Everybody's safe, and that's not even binding or legal yet. So,
What do you
quite
mean?
frankly,
How is it not legal?
because it hasn't been signed and it hasn't been submitted by your mediator. Okay. So,
it has. Can I
facts
show
are.
you, sir?
Facts
I
are.
show you
No,
my
I don't want to
picture?
see it. I actually don't want to see it. Facts are. I think you should get a
Okay,
citation right now for trespassing, and then we should move on.
Okay.
Do you want me to do it before you get it?
sure, I haven't really done anything. So
Yeah, it's our case. Follow up on it, yeah. That's our case, so. Just hang out here. Let's go grab our car and give her a case number and everything and do that. So.
You want me to stay here? or-
Yeah, just stay right here with these officers. We'll be
Okay.
back in a moment.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Yeah.
Officer? How do you know that it has not been submitted to the court systems?
Apparently, that's the conversation that your husband had with the mediator.
So if I pull up the Superior Court and it shows record that it has been, that's the story he's been telling, sir, but that's not the truth.
Okay. I mean, you have an actual record that
I do,
says,
sir.
yeah, it's valid right
I
now.
do, sir.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're not going to get the kids out of here tonight anyway.
Sir, I just want to make sure they're safe.
They're safe. I just saw all four of them.
But do you have their pictures? Like, how do you know it wasn't a cousin?
How do I know it wasn't a cousin?
Do you know what their pictures look like?
Do I know what their pictures? Well, I don't know what the kids look like, but
So how do you know that was them?
how do you know that there's 4 kids in there?
Because
that
the officer
right?
said that all 4
What
of
was
my
it?
children.
was it a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 9-year-old, right? 3 boys, 1 girl.
No, 2 boys, 2 girls.
2 boys, 2 girls.
Sir,
The
is there a picture you can
was
take to
the,
confirm that
was the
there's-
youngest one a girl?
Yes.
And then, so that would mean your 2 and your 4-year-old's a girl?
No, boy.
Boy.
Blonde, curly hair, dimples, blue eyes.
Yeah, they're all in there.
Is
right.
there a way that
I'm not going to go start snapping pictures of kids.
I
Okay,
just
but-
there have tons of cousins over there. How do I know
There's
that's
tons of
them?
cousins over there right now. You know for a fact
Probably.
there's tons of cousins
They
over there.
always
You can
have-
argue with me all day. You're not going to win.
I
Okay.
just would love to speak to a victim's advocate.
There's 4 children in there that are happy and healthy.
I
Okay?
hope so.
2 of them are playing Fortnite, and the other 2 are watching Frozen. Is there anything else you want to know? The facts are
you
she
just
can't
take
even
their
be here.
word that it's not filed in court because I have legal documents saying that it was filed in court and signed by him, by the judge, by our mediator. So
Where's it at?
you just take it's right here. I've been
See
trying
it?
to show it to you.
Doesn't matter. I mean, again, still doesn't matter.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I'm just here.
I'm gonna do whatever I want.
I know.
Like the
You
facts
will.
are is that
I get it.
the facts
I
are
get
is
it.
that
Look,
like I'm not just gonna go in there and remove the kids from the home.
You do whatever you want.
So if it was filed on October 22nd,
Yes, sir.
why
Why am I here now?
are you here now?
Sir, on October 16th, our mediator meetings were filed, and then Brandon went into hiding with my children. They've been out of state for over a month, out of school, and I've been looking for them everywhere. Somebody said that they've seen Brandon, but not the kids, so I don't know if he's split them up different places. Their schools, I have unenrolled them now. He's not supposed to take them out of state, and he's broken everything in this agreement. He's lied and said that it hasn't been filed, and then he lied and said he has a protection order. And there's nothing that has been filed, and we can look it up. I have it on my phone as well, the Superior Court.
Well, there's that. So whether or not, I mean, obviously
36 code 4.
Obviously,
it
this
may
was
be filed or it may not be filed. I don't know. Whatever.
Sir, I sent an officer over here last night to do a welfare check, and they completely. And then he said I'd be happy to go do it, and then he called me and started like the tone totally changed. Like they've been lying about what orders are in place. They're legally not supposed to be out of state right now. They're not. I don't even know if Brandon is there. They're not even in the care of either of their legal guardians.
Yeah, but they are safe. But they are safe and they're taken care of. So we're not just going to go in there and remove them from the house.
Even though they're not with a legal guardian.
Absolutely.
In-laws that
Absolutely
say,
not. No way. No way. I mean, you guys got all this other stuff going on. Like, if the kids are safe, we're not going to take them out of the house. It's just that simple. And furthermore, it's a civil problem that we can't do anything about anyway. Does that make sense? Like, this is a custody thing. There's not much we can do with custody. All we can do is document that there's a custodial interference, and that's it.
If there's a way to get a picture, just make sure that they're there and safe.
I'm not going to go in there and disturb them anymore, okay? They already don't want to see a cop, okay? They don't want to see a cop.
If he kept to this order, we wouldn't be doing
All right, but I'm not going to go in there and stir things up even more.
I'm their mother, and I haven't
I know.
talked to them for a month.
I get it.
Let me know for sure if they're safe.
I just let you know for sure they're safe.
I don't know if those are cousins over there.
There's nobody else in that house. There's nobody else in the house. So if you're telling me that you
So
know for
my
a fact
husband isn't- my
there's
ex-husband
15
isn't
people
even
in that house right now having some sort of family get together, you're out of your mind. Because there's not anybody else in that house. Nobody. And honestly, your best option right now is to probably just stay away from here. Because what's going to happen is you're going to end up in jail. At some point in time, we'll just end up taking you to jail.
Probably not before my ex-husband.
Okay? There's honestly, that custodial things, there's like nothing that we can do about it. Nothing. Not a thing.
Sad. It's kind of sad.
I get that it's sad, but you can't all come over here. One, you've been told not to. Two, you're not kidnapped by their own parent. He has just as much right to them as you do.
No, he doesn't. He legally says that it's my child. He's been fighting with him out of state. He legally has broken everything.
Are you guys still married?
No.
Well, then you guys both have got conflicting stories, and at
Right,
this
and I
point,
have proof. I'm not
they're-
coming up with stories. I'm telling you the truth.
they're in a
and I
safe
have
home,
documentation.
and I'm just not gonna remove them. Nobody's gonna remove them. So So you can sit here and argue and do all that stuff. Bring this guy over here. It's not going to bring anything.
I have a family member with me.
Where are you staying right now? Where are you living?
I live in Chandler, Arizona.
How long have you been out here for?
Utah?
Yeah.
I came out here on Tuesday, and then I drove several hours away because I don't want to be around here. I'm trying to just figure out the right thing to do.
Several hours away. Right?
I was to Idaho and back.
You literally drove to Idaho yesterday
4 or 5 hours.
and then back.
That's it.
Why would
I got my order and I came back because legally says it's my time with the kids. He's broken everything in here. So you can look at this, it says they are not to be removed from the state of Arizona. They're out of school.
I believe. Okay? I believe. I think you guys have some big problems going on right now.
Sure, and I just want to make sure that it is my 4 children.
Here's the thing, is I'm not going to do anything to make it secure. Nobody's going to do that. Okay? I'm not going to go in there and parade around, taking pictures of these kids. You know.
I can show you a picture and you can just go make sure it's done.
Show me a picture. Show me a picture of all 4 of them. I've seen all 4 of them. So, show me a picture.
My daughter Breeze, she's 2.
Yep. She's watching Frozen.
Braxton.
Watching Fortnite. Did the hype for me.
Right, she has games.
Watching Frozen with the other one. Yeah, we're playing Fortnite. I mean, to be 100% honest with you, I like just not have there's, you know what I mean? There's just nothing else that like legally I can't do anything.
I don't mind. I just like this whole thing sucks like this. You know, it makes it possible like for us to I've done everything legally right. I've lied to everybody and I've done everything.
That's hard.
Everyone who's helped me in fight too. There's a protection order. Everything is on the audit. I would love this because it comes out of the
Who's in the car with you? Alex Fox, you know what date of birth was she?
It all depends on the judge and if you can sign it, judge might put on there that might not be a big deal.
I don't. Leave it with stuff like this.
I told you you're not allowed on that property. It doesn't matter. We can't worry about it all.
What's up, Alex? You have your ID on you, man?
Just got a space in my back pocket.
Keep your hands out of the way. Alright? Sure.
Cool.
How's it going?
Pretty good, dude. Not bad. You guys came all the way from Arizona?
No.
Oh, where were you coming from?
Idaho.
Oh, Idaho. That's right.
Go ahead.
Do you live in Idaho?
Yeah, I just moved up there
From where?
from Arizona.
Oh, what the heck?
Apparently that was too warm.
Idaho's a big change.
It's a good change. It's nice.
Alright, here's your ID back, man.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it, man.
No problem. I can turn the burn light on if I like.
Well, it'd keep my light out of your face, probably. I'm just, with everybody here, we can watch her, and then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, I got somebody out here. We're like, whoa, just let's make sure everybody's safe and okay. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So,
I'm not moving.
cool.
None of that.